What is
Welcome
up,
back.
guys? Okay,
My bad.
after you chilling, let's go.
Welcome back to the Galint Melee Open East Coast Grand Finals is what we're about to get into here. We got Swift coming all the way out of losers to face Ben, who has patiently been waiting on the winner's side of Grand Finals. And this is it. This is for all the marbles, Swift versus Ben.
Yeah, and it has been quite a dominant performance in some cases. Like, we just saw Swift really run away with a set that I thought would be a lot closer. Worth mentioning that Swift has decided to switch to Fox. Makes a lot of sense. For people who maybe haven't seen him play as much, he does have a very, very capable Fox secondary. This is a character that has beaten H-Box. It is a character he's really comfortable with. And I was saying this earlier, but like, this is a thing I really respect about him as a player, is like, some people would argue that like it's cooler to try to win with Pikachu, you know, like it's cooler to try to go like, I can still do it with my character. But I think there's something honestly like just as admirable about being like, I will do whatever it takes to win. If I don't believe in my character, I'm gonna play a character I do believe in. I'm gonna take that win. I'm gonna beat Jigglypuff, a character that Axe has struggled so much against. Like, it's just a smart mentality to me.
Yeah, no, it's a very much a winner's mentality and one that's very respectable, especially when you're in grand finals of a tournament like this. I mean,
That's where you want it.
no need to be too proud about your character choice or anything. Just do whatever it takes to get the job done.
I think in particular in like the kind of 2022 meta, like there are some limits to characters, you know, like Pikachu is a character that's been pushed pretty far. I think there's a lot of room for Pikachu to be pushed, but like Sheik just is really good against Pikachu. Like, it is, it's not a matchup that we've never seen kind of go well. Like, Axe used to beat Michi King sometimes, but still, it's rough.
Yeah. That being said, great start from Ben. Obviously, one of the problems with switching characters mid-tournament like this is that you might not be as warm with the character that you're switching to. So we'll see if that plays a role at all.
No, absolutely. And I think on the flip side, Ben has kind of just been playing Foxes. Like, he's had set after set of kind of eating Foxes for dinner. And meanwhile, like you said, like Swift just playing Pikachu earlier kind of has to not just be a kind of great general player, but be better than all the Foxes that came before him, even though how he got this far was largely because of Pikachu. So it's a tall order for Swift, but I also think he's probably the favorite here in spite of that all. Ben has been playing really, really solidly, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I would say simply because of the fact that Ben is in winners, I would give him the nod as favorite, mainly for that reason, because obviously winning 2 sets back-to-back, pretty tall order, but we'll see. I mean, obviously, these first couple games will indicate a lot in terms of who's got the advantage here.
No, absolutely. So far, small lead from Swift, but it looks like it's not going to last. Oh, wow. Did not think that Ben would drop that. That is kind of one of those, like, everyone's had a moment where you're like, Fox can make it back from that? Like,
yeah.
Oh, okay, sure, whatever.
Yeah. Would certainly expect. Oh, I like that slide off leading to a fair, and then got a grab off it as well. But Swift answering back immediately.
Yeah, I like Swift's awareness to go for the jab there, knowing that either because of the percent or GI from Ben that he's going to like pop up and gets the grab immediately. But Ben showing his punish game is also no joke. Beautiful extension with the down air, and this has just been so back and forth.
Yeah, Ben actually with a slight miscue on the timing of the forward tilt on the side B, and Swift managing to survive still, but not the greatest DI there. That should be the stock for sure. Okay, Ben with the first stock lead, I think, so far of the game. Good time to get it.
Especially in this matchup, I think like percents always are going to play a big role, but Sheik's kit in general is like kind of like situational and dependent on percents. Like at the low percents, she kind of has to go for things like grab. She kind of has to call out a jump, and if she doesn't do it, like she can't really deal with crouch cancel. So the percents so often tell a story of like how easy is this gonna be for Ben. Like even if he drops this punish, now that Swift is at such a high percent, it's a lot easier to kind of open him up, but he doesn't need to.
Yeah, great stuff from Ben in that game one. And again, when you're the player on the winner's side, it feels great to take that game one, knowing you have secured the counter pick advantage. Because when you are that player on winner's side, you never want a reset. You want
Absolutely.
to get it done in set one and let it be over with.
Yeah.
So we'll see if Ben can keep it up. Strong start. And I wonder if there's any world, I doubt it, but I wonder if there's any kind of world here where we would actually see the Pikachu from Swift. I don't think so, but I mean, if it's like, you know, super one-sided against the Fox, maybe.
It's tricky because it's like one of those things where if you're gonna like switching characters mid-set always kind of has a downside. You know, you kind of feel like you have to warm up the character in between, and like not everyone is going to be willing to be Mewtwo King and just ask for a hand warmer like mid-set. So you know, if you're not going to do that, it can be hard to make the switch. And then like what are you going to do, like switch the when you're down 2-1? You know what I mean? So
yeah, very true. Ooh.
But I get what you're saying as well. Like you kind of think maybe it would be better. I think Tyler's like, or Swift is pretty confident in his game plan. Like, you know, like when he goes Fox, he's pretty intentional about it. He's pretty well practiced.
Yeah.
So I think he'll stick to it. It's just a matter of can he adapt to like Ben's kind of crazy punish game.
Yeah, we've definitely seen a lot of that so far already here. Oh my goodness. Nicely done once again from Ben. I really like his move selection in these juggle scenarios where he seems to have a really good feel for when to continue the combo versus end the combo.
Yeah, no, it's really one of those things that like Sheik's punish game on the ground off of Tech Chase is pretty well mapped out, but there's a lot of room, like at least against Fox, but there's a lot of room and creativity for kind of like how you're dealing with extending and yeah, like DI mix-ups off of a punish. And Ben, like, clearly very seasoned in that. His dare extensions, in particular, like, really fun to watch so far. We're about to get some more.
Yeah.
Right?
Ooh. Oh, man, just waits for the roll.
That's some Marth stuff where, like, Marth drops a combo against Fox and then just somehow gets it again. But
yeah.
Sheik doesn't get the same freebies as often.
Yeah, very true. Oh, wow. And just no up B or anything from Swift makes that an easy kill for Ben, who is looking to go up 2-0 if Swift can't turn something around here. Okay.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. Sheik is a character where her weaknesses are, like, pretty obvious. So when she's losing, she kind of looks bad. But then, like, she like is such a good character that if you're able to see people kind of like leverage her advantages, I always think of Fluff as someone who just makes her look like a better character than she actually is, and she's already really good. And I feel like I'm seeing kind of shades of Fluff right now, like just really capable Sheik play.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Ben is he's looked sharp all tourney so far. Okay.
Man, he might be about to take it. We could be watching him winning a flight to Battle of BC, which is a huge part of the kind of first prize. So really good second game. Might be a quick 3-0. Again, not what I expected. I thought that this would be closer, but he's not out of this yet. I mean, chilling, mind reader. Like so far, you've had a good read on the sets. What are you feeling right now?
I honestly am feeling the Ben, not necessarily a 3-0, but I'm thinking Ben is taking set one here based on what we've seen so far. From what I've seen, it doesn't feel like Swift is it doesn't feel like he really has an anti-Sheik Fox. It feels like his Fox might be more anti-Puff, you know, suited for that kind of matchup, but he hasn't necessarily been pushing some of the stuff that you would want to see in the Sheik matchup, like wave shines and stuff like that, as much as I would like to see. So in that sense, I I do like Ben to take it, but Swift is looking a lot stronger to start this game so far.
Yeah, I like his approach to the punish game so far. Does kind of miss-space the up smash, but still the right idea. I know what you mean. I think the tricky thing we're seeing is that, like, we've watched really capable players. Like, I use Aklo as kind of a measuring stick because Aklo has a ton of experience against Sheik, and Ben beat Aklo, like, confidently. He looked really solid. So
Yeah.
I think Ben is just having, like, a really good tournament, playing really well, and it's making Swift look, you know, a little lost by comparison.
Yeah, absolutely. Just the follow-ups from Ben's end are so good, and it's not even that he's like hitting every tech chase or anything like that. It's just that when he gets to the end of tech chases and it gets to that point where he starts to need to combo, he looks so comfortable there, and he picks his moves so well to lead to, you know, either the optimal damage or the kill.
Yeah, I think, like, the more I'm watching Ben, the more I think that he's, like, a really good example of, like, a textbook, like, all-around Sheik. So, like, if you look at, like, someone like Mewtwo King has a very, like, specific playstyle, is one way to word it. You know, like, he goes for very kind of flowcharty options. He goes for gimps a lot. And then Club is kind of this player that's, like, almost like impossible to recreate. He plays like in such a unique way, but it feels like Ben kind of plays like in a very like well-rounded, like not too defensive, not too offensive, not like too original, but not like super kind of flowchart by the book either. It's kind of like a good mix of everything.
Yeah, I do think he has a very balanced playstyle, for sure. Okay. Nice tech chase here so far.
Ooh,
oh, wow. Waits
spot
for the
dodge.
spot dodge, yeah. Okay. Oh, man.
This has
Could
been
be-
such a good punish.
Yeah, this is a ton of damage. Ooh.
Like,
Okay.
I've said this so
Nice.
many times, but if a Sheik is able to hit those tech chases, the matchup, it just looks so different. Like, there is not a ton Fox can do to kind of escape. They can get some, fancy slight DI. They can try to kind of be unpredictable. They can hit their SDI on the jab. But at the end of the day, if Sheik is playing solidly, there's nothing you can do. Your stock gets deleted. But Swift kind of pulling back the set. As I say that, this is big.
Yeah, no, this is definitely looking like a much better game than the first couple on Swift's end. Okay, dash
do it.
attack. Yeah. We'll see if Ben can, if he manages to make this comeback, that would be a nice
exclamation
point on his tournament win. But it is pretty tough in this scenario for Sheik.
Oh! This
Uh-oh.
is tough. Yeah,
Okay.
that's gonna do it though, right?
Yeah.
Up there.
Barely anything Sheik can do in that scenario. I mean, obviously Ben should have been dead a minute before that, but Swift does manage to clean it up. So the good news for Swift here is that Sheik does not have very strong counter picks on Fox compared to, vice versa. So it should be pretty doable on whatever the counter pick is from Ben's end, whether it's Battlefield or Fountain are usually the two most likely.
Yeah, I'm feeling Battlefield. I feel like I was saying this earlier, but I feel like Sheiks just love that stage. Like it's kind of the classic. There you go.
Yep.
All right. It's the CC already off to a good start. 47% keeps it going. Still in the air. How does Ben get down?
Okay.
Ooh, that's
Wow.
out.
Yeah, manages to sneak around and get a bear of his own. Okay. Ooh. Oh! Man, I was waiting for the up smash there. Might have worked. Okay, but Swift takes the first stock anyway, so wait a minute. I did predict Ben winning set 1. I could be eating my words here as Swift is turning up the heat.
We talk all the time back in the day about like Scar being the script writer, but right now we got fortune teller chillin', telling us how things are gonna go, and he has not been wrong so far. So interested to see if Swift, he's reading the cards right. It looks like some of the momentum is changing. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
No,
Even just
Swift,
the choices to laser and stuff has been really smart.
yeah, I think we're just seeing a lot more confident play in Swift. after maybe just that one game win is what he kind of needed to get his head in the game or something like that. But yeah, that beautiful wave shine out of shield leading to that stock. And again, Swift just feels a lot more confident than the first couple games for sure.
Yeah, there's definitely situations where, like, because Fox is so fast, like, you can really see the confidence of a player. Like, because Fox is kind of able to, like, not like force openings, but like find openings in a really intelligent and active way. Like, they don't kind of look for their opponent to make a mistake. They kind of are able to make the situation happen in the first place. And we've been seeing that from Swift time and time again. That is why he has this lead. But Ben kind of answered back. This should be a free edge guard, and we're back to even. Or mostly.
Yeah. Yeah, Ben, again, just does not want to see a set 2 for any reason. So he's got 2 games, just got to win one of the 2. And I'm sure he's looking to just close it out here if possible. But Swift is going to take another stock.
I actually love this, like, little laser damage that he's weaving in. Like, he's correctly recognizing, like, there is nothing I could do or nothing worth doing from a safety perspective to call out Sheik off stage. So I'll just get, like, 3% there, 2% here, make it a little easy, and
wow,
2-2 already.
Yeah, this is suddenly looking like a completely different set than the beginning. Swift, again, just looking much more confident, much more poised, and seems to be executing the game plan well. Whereas Ben cannot seem to find the openings that he was in those first couple games. So if that keeps up, then we could very easily see a set 2 here.
Yeah, and I think because of the, like, read factor in Ben's kind of punish game, like, there are moments where when he kind of gets one tech chase back to back, it looks like he's reacting every time, but, like, he's not. There's certain moments where he's calling out his opponent and kind of correctly calling them out. And if that's the way you kind of approach the punish game, when you're right, you're right. But when you're wrong, it looks like, whoa, why did he go for that? Like, what was he thinking? So,
Right.
Like, if he's starting to kind of, like, if Swift is adapting to what Ben was doing previously, then Ben's punish game is suddenly going to look a lot worse, even though the only thing that's changed is how Swift has been dealing with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he still has him tuned in on the spot dodge at the very least.
So we do see Fountain, which, again, I mentioned as the other common Sheik counter pick. It's just still not very, very strong in Sheik's favor here. I mean, obviously, there's nothing inherently amazing about the stage for Sheik in particular. She does live a bit longer from up airs, up smashes. And then I would say overall the platforms kind of bode well for Sheik. She does have the tilts, which can, pretty effectively cover the side platforms.
Yeah, I would say the tilts especially, like, are just able to control space in a really unique way. I like the Nair there. Again, like, kind of good example of controlling space as well, just making it so that there's a pretty difficult hitbox to kind of weave around. But, Swift playing this really smart, using the platforms to his advantage. Even there, that down tilt, such a good way to kind of continue the damage. And combo's not over, 94% already.
Yeah. It's looking good for Swift, but oh wow, really nice. The first hit up air into jab into up smash. Multiple contingency plans coming out there, it looked like, from Swift.
Yeah, he had every option. In case of emergencies, he broke the glass. He was ready. Oh man. But now we're seeing that kind of, where is Ben's punish game? How well is Swift able to adapt? This is kind of what I was saying. We're like, the last 3 tech chase sequences, Ben's dropping it. And I don't think that's because Ben suddenly got nervous. Uh-oh. Yeah, looking like we're having a bit of, it's one of those moments where you're like, did I drop the signal? Or
yeah.
Oh, no. Okay.
Looks like it's also frozen on stream. Bit of technical difficulty happens to the best of us.
I'm hoping that their match is not affected, and it looks like it's not. So we are seeing.
Like we got the replay, or not the replay, but
the Swift stream,
Swift perspective. And Swift is looking to bring this to a set 2 right now. It looks like.
I love the Pika Chad tag, by the way. Like, just you'll see very different tags come out, and I think it's a fun way for players to, like, express themselves.
Yeah.
Maybe not always in a way that their sponsor wants them to, but Pikachu is definitely pretty safe for work.
Yeah. There's also like multiple, well, not multiple, but there's, I don't know if it's just a Chad reference in general, but there's a an actual player, old school player that was named Pikachu and played Pikachu. So I'm
Ooh.
not sure if it's just an overall Chad reference or a specific reference to the old school player. Either way, good stuff
That's
from
so
Swift. Who,
yeah, so old school. They're like before Chad era, you know, like
yeah,
before Chad was a Chad, he
before
was
Chad
just
was a
Chad.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So the reset, and we are gonna get set two. So my first incorrect prediction of the day. I apologize. I mean, to be fair, from those first couple games, it really looked like Ben was poised to take it in the first set for sure. But something in that game three, just Swift managed to like flip a switch there and play so much more confident is the main thing that I've noticed in these past few games.
The flipping a switch thing is really what it felt like. Like you said, like it felt like we were kind of seeing, you know, a sudden adjustment. Like so often, you know, you're kind of trying to look for things that the opponent is doing that you could maybe kind of call out. But sometimes it's like sometimes it's a you thing and sometimes it's a them thing. And I think in this case, like Swift said to himself, like, I gotta do this differently, or like, you know what I mean? Like if you've played before,
Yeah.
you'll go like, oh, like I'm approaching way too much. I gotta approach less, or like something kind of simple like that, but informs so much of your decisions and makes you like play so differently. And it feels like that's kind of what happened. Something Swift changed, uh, really worked out in his favor.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I mean, with that momentum, now it's kind of feeling like Swift is definitely the favorite for this set too. I mean, after reverse 3-0ing in set one, that never feels great as the person in winner,
No,
right? But we'll see if Ben can kind of shake that off and approach this as just a brand new set in general. But it's really hard to do that. It's much easier said than done.
yeah, it is really hard. Like you literally just lost to them, and you have to be like, okay, I'm gonna win though. And there's something very different about like, I mean, technically he got knocked into losers, but like when you get knocked into losers and you're like, okay, I'm gonna run it back. I'm gonna run it back to
Mhm.
that player who knocked me out potentially. That's
Mhm.
very different from like, okay, I just lost this guy. So I gotta make some changes, and maybe Ben has those changes. Maybe Ben is like, okay, I gotta, you know, like clean up my approach a little bit. Maybe I need to play a little bit more defensively. But I think this game is going to be kind of where we can tell, like, maybe Ben doesn't have the answers. It's not always easy to know how to adapt, what to be changing. So this is why mid-set coaching is banned, right? Like, it's like tricky to adapt to your opponent that easily. Ooh.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I thought that maybe Ben would try to fall with an air or something along those lines, but keeps it, stays on stage to keep it safe, and obviously ends up paying off there. Wow, love those falling needles.
Yeah, it's funny, like needle grab, really great way to kind of open up Fox at low percent, but not really something we've seen a lot of lately. Beautiful shine to extend that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, gets the ledge,
Okay.
makes Sheik's life a lot more difficult. Wispy even helping out a little bit.
Oh, I assume that was supposed to be a needle. Don't know what else
Yeah.
it could have been, really.
All we know is that it wasn't a chain. Like, there's no way Ben's mind was like, well, give him some of this.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
all right.
Oh, wow.
That's the grab.
Yeah, just the raw
Ooh,
grab.
shine.
There.
Oh,
Oh man.
I like these back airs, just kind of playing it safe. Gets the grab out of it, though. Again, like kind of some of these like typical, maybe like lower ranked openings, like a shield grab, needle grab. And they're getting him a lot of mileage. Look at this tech chase so far.
Yeah,
Wow.
still going.
Still
And-
going.
Wow, he manages to really get the entire stock from that. I think that first grab was at like 20 or 30%, so insanely good tech chase from Ben.
Yeah, like, you know, I think one of the things that validated Sheik players everywhere was when Mango picked up Sheik for that week, and the whole time he just was like, how do they do it? Like, how do they tech chase like this? It is so hard, and it really is. Like, there is nothing that can be said other than how difficult it is. And
Yeah.
Ben making it look kind of easy.
Yeah. I think the craziest part about Sheik's tech chase is if tech in place wasn't a thing, then it would actually be free.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
it's so easy to actually react to the tech rolls, but the fact that tech in place is an option that you have to keep in mind is what keeps it tricky. Like the fact that all these small scenarios like that worked out and like balanced themselves so well for Melee is kind of crazy.
I mean, like, shout outs to the game designers. I'm a big believer that, like, even if they didn't anticipate some stuff, like, I feel like, like, I'm the opposite of a Melee conspiracy theory. I think they did, like, plan it. It wasn't a happy accident. Not everything, like, some of it they're like, yo, like, it would be pretty messed up if he could just, like, cover everything. So let's make it a little bit harder. Obviously, some things worked out really, really well, but beautiful grab, by the way. This has just been so good from both players. Like, it feels like Ben is in the lead, but Swift keeping it so close.
Yeah. Okay. Ooh, the wave shines finally coming out from Swift. Okay. And again, wow, the turnaround so nice. Okay.
That's one of those moments where, like, we haven't been seeing that many wave shines, probably because Swift respecting Ben's, like, crazy DI. Yet he covered it anyway, like, didn't lead to the game win, but good stuff from Ben first game, answering back, showing that he is not out of it yet.
Yeah, I think that was a very, very important game for Ben to take. Obviously, after just getting reverse 3-0'd in set 1, you really, really don't want to drop that first game of set 2. And now he does have the counter pick advantage, at least for the moment, in set 2 as well. So we'll see how Stadium goes. Ben did manage to take one of the Stadium games in the first set. See if he can replicate that.
Yeah, definitely Stadium, a tricky stage to say the least. I like the nair there, still covering it with the down smash, but not enough to cover the side B. Good back air, even gets the turnaround. Great punish so far from Ben.
Okay, and that might be stock. It is. Great stuff from Ben, who, yeah, has really managed to shake off the reverse 3-0 from the first set, it looks like here. That being said, Swift still playing hot, so this is getting intense.
Yeah, Titus, before you were on, he said that in Pokemon, Swift is a move that never misses, and it does feel like that holds true for Swift here. He is very, very, very clean, very, very consistent.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Has looked solid ever since game 3 of that first set.
Sure. And, 80%, kind of pretty, like, yeah, like you get the up air and it's over. That was basically what I was trying to say, and the game made it easy for me. But I feel like Ben's been so good at answering back in these moments. With that tech, though. Wow.
Really good tech from Swift. And, yeah, we saw that just upbeat. Honestly, it's so hard to cover, even if you know for a fact Fox is gonna up B straight into you. It's just, it feels like it's always a little bit longer than you think it's gonna be. So it's surprisingly hard to, like, outspace it and then punish afterward.
I think that's part of, like, what makes the game, like, fun to watch, is some of the stuff that, like, people who don't play, they'll be like, oh yeah, like, it's solved, Fox is the best, and you're like, it's really not like that sometimes. Like, in a way, it feels like it should be like that, and then you miss and mess up and don't cover the things you think you should be covering, like that. Like, that seems like not too crazy of an edge guard, and yet, Swift dropping it, what makes the game fun to watch. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, that's one of those edge guards that's hard for Fox mains, let alone, a Fox secondary. That being said, Swift doesn't even look like a Fox secondary right now. Practically looks like a Fox main with a Pika secondary at this point.
And, I remember earlier you were saying, like, he doesn't look like he's kind of dialed in for the Sheik matchup. And I agree with you at that time. And it feels like some part of him was like, I'm playing against Sheik. I gotta start doing, like, anti-Sheik things. And he's doing them. Like, they're working out really well.
Yeah. No, a lot of stuff has changed from those first couple games of set 1. He's definitely playing the matchup more along the lines of how you would expect it to be played for Fox.
Exactly.
Ooh, great spacing there.
I love, like, the way Melee's, like, momentum works. Like, like when they just kind of moving so quickly that they kind of slide anyway. Like kind of how moonwalking is even able to happen. But it just makes Fox's movement look so exciting at times.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a cool little moment there too where Swift tried to close it out with an up air onto the stage, and Ben actually crouch canceled the first hit of up air and then like shielded or like slid off or something to avoid the second hit. So
Yeah, that's crazy.
that was pretty cool looking. But Swift does take it game 2, and now we're back to a 1-to-1 situation. That counter pick advantage, though, as I mentioned, works out nicely for Ben here. He's really got to try to take this game, knowing that Fox has much stronger counter picks in the matchup. If he loses this and therefore loses the counter pick advantage, then he's going to have to try to win the tournament on a rough stage, most likely.
Yeah, and that's one of the tricky things, like, I think about the matchup. Like, Fox is kind of just, in general, a character that, like, you can always do well against. If you have a solid punish game, you can always kind of, like, you have so much experience against him that you see players do well. But I think on paper, in a lot of ways, this is a very difficult matchup. Like, I think Sheik really feels the kind of uphill battle a lot of times. And that's not to take away from Swift's skill, but I think, like, you know, Ben, again, the Sheik Johns are probably coming out in his head a little bit.
No, absolutely. I mean, and it's hard not to have those thoughts sometimes when, especially when Fox is playing as well as Swift is right now.
Yeah, and I think actually not having those thoughts is like the mark of a good player. It's like the reason why I'm bad, or one of the many reasons is I'm just like, God damn this stupid thing, you know? And like the players who, like, I remember Mango said something like, you know, it's like hating your family or something. Like you just gotta, like, they're still your family, so you just gotta not even bother. Like, and Scar was like, no. So
Scar hates his family, confirmed.
Like, notable family man, Scar. Family hater.
Oh, man. Okay, nice. Falling up air, we'll take it. So Swift maintaining a slight lead, although Ben brought it back pretty well considering that first stock was practically a 0 to death.
Absolutely. Yeah, you know, both players looking to impress, and this is kind of at a percent. I was going to say, like, when you go for the down throw there at that kind of like 55-ish range, it's not as obvious exactly how you're going to cover it. Like, sometimes you want to be doing dash attack or tilt or something. You know, Fox isn't going to, like, hit the stage the way he does at the low percent. So I really like how Ben has kind of been adapting to the different ways that Swift is trying to get around that more tricky percent.
Yeah. Yeah, and one thing that has just worked out a lot more than I would expect from Ben is the needle usage. Like, these point blank needles in the air and stuff like that have actually worked out very, very well. And you don't see that often from Sheiks against Fox, but he's managed to really make the needles work effectively.
Yeah, needles in general, just like a really strong projectile. Like, if Falco's lasers weren't in the game, they might be the single best. They have so much utility in the angles that you're able to throw them out at. Like, either we see it once again, kind of part of the reason he was even able to mix up at all, but doesn't get back to the stage. And yeah. Swift really wants to take this.
Yeah, again, swinging the counter pick advantage in his favor.
Oh,
would be huge. Oh, okay.
Some of these openings, like, just feel like really, really, really smart from Ben. Like, he's looking for situations where he can kind of just really, really quickly get a punish in that, like, a lot of players don't see.
Oh, man. Swift looking to close us out. Okay. Maybe meant to ledge dash. Yeah, those are probably meant to be ledge dashes there, but Ben got another shot to try to go up 2-1. Oh, man, that might be it. Okay.
And that is going to be it.
Straight into the up smash. I thought he might do like one wave shine just to make sure, but doesn't even mess with it. Just goes straight to that up smash. Nicely done from Swift, who has the lead all of a sudden. Suddenly a 2-1 lead in Swift's favor, meaning that there's going to be a potentially brutal counter pick to deal with, even if Ben does win this next game. But obviously, he's got to try to win this game first and sticks to his guns. We saw this same counter pick pattern in the first set where he went Battlefield and then after losing on Battlefield went Fountain, but obviously we saw Swift win that as well, so got his work cut out for him.
Yeah, it is going to be an uphill battle, and Swift only kind of pushing it more uphill, getting a solid 76%. But Ben, you know, answering back, going to use platforms to his advantage there. Love the up tilt, and should get this, yeah.
Nice.
Really solid stock. That's kind of like a classic Sheik edge guard, you know, just bears like a giant hitbox and then just kind of closes it out from the edge.
Yeah, and the nice part about that bear for Sheik is it doesn't really matter whether it's soft or strong. It's just, as long as it hits period, then you're good to go.
That's what's kind of funny if you play like Spaceys. Spaceys kind of like edge guard in a similar way with like the bear from ledge, but the timing is like really strict. And then when you play Sheik, it's like, this is the freest thing I've ever seen, man. Like, obviously Sheik has different disadvantages, but that back air is so big. Like, it is hard to miss.
Lasts a while as well.
I know. Yeah. All right, 69%. Never mind. It's gone already. Like the fair. Ooh, good reaction too on the Tekken plays.
Yeah. Oh, that poof. Okay. Oh man.
Definitely one of those moments where like someone just like walks in, some of the terminology, like just watching the game, dat poof. Like, it's like, wow, they got some advanced terms in this game.
Oh man, yeah, we really break it down to a science practically.
Exactly.
Oh, Ben with the key miss there, and Swift capitalizing.
They're getting paid the big commentary bucks to break down the poofs for everybody here, but Swift had a pretty tricky percent, and that's why we see him busting out the lasers. Like there's percents, like there's a big difference between like 100 and 140. Like pretty much anything Swift did there, if he gets a hit once, it's over. Whereas right now, able to play it a bit more safely, but Ben doesn't let him, gets the grab and already kind of pushing him mostly out of crouch cancel percentage. Maybe needs about like one extra hit, and there it is. Love the shield.
See how this edge guard looks. Oh wow. The up air coming back onto stage from Swift was very tricky. Has almost always gone for ledge in those situations, so to pull that out there was definitely smart. But Ben manages to close that stock out, and so we might see the set 2 game 5 here. Is this going to game 10, Radar? Is that about to happen?
I honestly, again, like, all bets are off. We have no fortune teller in the building. It feels like it really could go either way, but that up smash could be the opening that he needs. Doesn't get it though. Still in center stage. Both of them just kind of scrapping it out, looking for an opening and trading them back and forth. It feels like either person gets an opening and suddenly it's the other players.
Oh, wow. And both players with kind of a flub there. Obviously, Swift did not mean to be on stage like that, but Ben not ready to punish it. Looks like a mid
on the drill.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Actually, what have you been that? Oh, my gosh.
Oh, no.
Okay, this is some spaghetti melee if I've ever seen it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Gets edge. Oh, man. Next hit could be it.
I think one of the beauties of Melee as a spectator is that you can be the best player in the world and you can still look like you're playing unranked every once in a while. Like just throwing at moves, trying to make them hit. The nerves are so real.
Oh, man. Yeah. And then just jab, forward tilt, forward air. A classic ender there. Just really nice from Ben. And we are seeing the game 10. What a back and forth set. And I'm curious what the pick is from Swift. Again, my personal pick here would definitely be FD, but maybe he's scared of that tech chase ability that Sheik is kind of granted on FD. Just a lot of room to work with, but that also means you have a lot of room to wave shine and stuff like that. So we will see.
Yeah, no. It is surprising how difficult it is to kind of predict who's going to win here. I feel like even when you've seen like game 10s, like historically, like sometimes it's like a crazy reverse 3-0 and you're like, oh, all the momentum's in that player's favor, like a Summit 11 where Mango won. It's not that often where you just see like it still feels really, really back and forth. Like this is a really close set. The previous one felt pretty damn close. And I mean, FD, rough stage for sure, but his chain grabs, or not, tech chases rather, have been quite solid. So I can make it work.
Yeah, we'll see how much he does.
There's that back air.
Wow, beautifully done. Yeah, he's been getting a lot off the tech chases, so that could work out well on FD. Wow, nice air dodge like that, but should be stock just right away. a stock apiece, and that's a great representation of this whole grand finals, as you said. Extremely back and forth. Very much felt like Ben had to turn the heat back up himself, as Swift kind of
Yes.
did that toward the end of set one, right? And he rose to the challenge.
Yeah, I think, also worth mentioning is like when we're seeing these edge guard situations, this is why I like this stage so much versus Sheik is Sheik's recovery just gets so much more one-dimensional. Like it's just like you gonna land this stage or not, and there's nothing else to it. Like
Yeah.
so, this is not just a game 5 for Ben. It's also kind of an uphill battle. And
Yep.
Swift has really been doing a good job of leveraging that stage advantage so far. Oh,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why I mentioned earlier the game 3 that was Ben's counter pick was huge, because it essentially swung the counter pick advantage back in Swift's favor, and we're seeing that pay off in a big way right now.
absolutely. I'm a big believer that like if you want to figure out like what a matchup is like, you want to look at like the stages and like how many stages one character has that just like is really damn good. And I feel like this is one of them where like FD and Stadium like are both pretty solid. Like they're not like a Marth Fox kind of thing, or like Pikachu with his chain grab, but it is still really uphill. And the kind of fire that we've been seeing from Ben in this game just isn't anywhere near as potent as it was on the stages with platforms. But just as I say that,
Wait. Oh, man. Yeah, if he hadn't been able to grab ledge with the startup of up B there, that could have been stock. But Ben's not giving up yet. That was a big drop.
Yeah, just barely like a pixel off. It has been very rough, but gets the down smash, gets the needles as well, and that should be the stock. Just one more edge guard to clean it up. Good DI on the forward tilt though.
Yeah.
Still going.
Oh, wow. Okay. And last stock, let's see if Ben can get some kind of opening. Last stock, game 10. All comes down to this.
And I love that Swift is just being like, you know what? I want that flight to Battle of BC. I'm going to do some lasers. I'm going to sit in the corner, or keep you in the corner. I'm not going to throw it away, but right now, it's still so tough.
There was a lot of damage dealt, but yeah, this should be it. Looks like that is it. Swift is the winner. What a comeback after being down 2-0 on loser's side. Ben
any lip readers? Any lip readers?
Manages to come all the way back. Swift is your Galint Melee Open East Coast champion and will be getting a flight to Battle of BC 4 coming up in a couple months here.
Yeah,
wow.
That was a, it wasn't a Hungry Box level pop off, but it was a pop off all the same. Him looking pretty pumped. Yeah, didn't pass out or anything, but still a solid B effort. That's what I give that pop off. Good stuff to Swift, man.
I can definitely agree with the B grade. But yeah, that was honestly really, really impressive from Swift, just given how that first set was going, given how many Foxes Ben's had to defeat to get to this point. He was looking really, really confident. You also got to give it up to Ben, though, who managed to at least bring that to game 10 after the way the end of set 1 went, and then the beginning of set 2, it looked like it was pretty solidly in Swift's favor, but Ben managed to bring it all the way to the last stock. But Swift does take it. Great grand finals on both sides. You love to see it.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was just very impressive. Like, just really, really solid play from both. I did not think it would go as long as it did, to be honest. It was yeah, I mean, I think if you're Ben and you didn't get first, but you should be walking away from that feeling pretty comfortable that this is just kind of one more notch in your belt towards kind of climbing the ranks. Like he is very, very capable. I think like Swift and Aklo in particular are players that I think are firmly in the top 30, and Ben outplacing Aklo. So very impressive.
Yeah, and the win over Zuppy as well, who's no slouch either. Definitely some great wins on the board in general for Ben today. And might be, in the short term, obviously a little bit disappointed. But I think he should be happy with his performance overall for sure. Honestly, as pretty much all of the top 4 should, just making some great runs to get to that point. But Swift ultimately ended up being the champion. So great stuff to Swift.
Can't miss, man. You know, is a player that never misses.
That's